and welcome to week 2 of my video diary. Thanks to everybody who left comments after the first instalment last week. I really appreciate the feedback, and we've got some great questions which I'm hopefully going to answer for you today. So I'm looking at my first draft. This is what I'm writing at the moment. The deadline for it is looming scarily close. The 1st of February I have to get it to my publishers. And I've been writing really stupid hours to get it done, but actually that kind of works all right for me because I'm very fortunate in that I work really well under pressure, so it's turned out okay. It's not ideal, but that's what I'm doing. So my first draft began life as a synopsis, and here it is. Now, in the crazy world of publishing, you actually have to submit this quite a long time before you actually get to write it. So this got sent to Avon, who's my publishers, in I think it was September last year. So it's quite a long time ago. And the sales team will actually start selling this book now, which is quite weird that they actually start selling a book before it's even written. It's really just a story. I have to say synopsises scare the heck out of me. I don't find them easy to write. And when I wrote this, because I was still sort of planning the book, I sort of made it up as I went along. But, you know, I'm hoping it was serendipitous and that, you know, there's some good stuff in there. So there we go, just a 2-page synopsis, well, 1.5-page synopsis, and that went off. So that's kind of formed the basis of my idea. I then have, I need to show you, my immense collection of notebooks. For some unknown reason, I can never manage to find the same notebook to write down my ideas in at one time. Don't know why that is. So this is what I've been working from at the moment. These are my lists of scenes. Now, I'm actually quite organised with this book, certainly more so than I was with my first book, Fairy Tale of New York, or the one that's out now, Welcome to My World. That's largely down to time, because there were a lot of edits on the second book that took me right the way up to the time it came out, and there was quite a lot of publicity that I had to do afterwards. I really didn't get the chance to sit down and start writing this until kind of the end of November, and so I've only been writing in reality for just about a month and a half. I need to try and get 100,000 words done, so it's quite to the wire. So what I've done, just to help me keep on track and not go off at tangents, is to literally write the scenes out. I've got it planned, I know what happens in the year. I'm quite fortunate with this story in that it goes throughout a year. It goes from the Saturday before Christmas one year to Christmas Eve the next year. So it's quite a lineal method of going through the story, so it's quite easy to do it. So I'm just literally ticking off the scenes as I go. And in here there's all my, you can see the kind of state it's in, there are all my notes about where the main character Romilly works. She works in a photo studio that's called OH, because it's owned by a guy called Declan O'Hanlon. And this was just all my ideas about the kind of promotions that they'll be doing in the studio. So you'll see her working with animals and kids and grannies, and there's a sort of an Easter bonnet parade that they end up filming at one point. They end up taking photos off at one point. So that's all my stuff there. Then when I'm actually writing, if I just show you my laptop, you probably can't see this very well. And it's just flashing things at me that it shouldn't be doing. But on the left hand side is my is my draft as I'm writing it, and then these are my notes. I have kind of just general outlines about the characters. It's kind of like a sort of a character board, not quite the way that I want to do it, and I'm just trying it for the first time. I don't know how well I'm actually doing, but it's just got little observations about the characters there. So for example, Romilly, who's the main character in It Started With a Kiss, it says she's confident, optimistic, someone who believes in possibility. She has shoulder length dark blonde hair, green eyes, and she's around 5'5" tall. Some of these things will change as I go through, but it just helps me to have it there when I'm writing about the characters, to know these things about them. So I literally will have that up at the same time while I'm writing. So there we go. Now Leah from Chicklit Reviews, hello Leah, asked if you have to do loads of planning. It really depends on the writer. Some writers are religiously structural when it comes to their planning and they know exactly what's happening. Other people fly by the seat of their pants. If I didn't have the time strains that I have on me at the moment, I would like to be a seat of my pants flyer. So I'd like to be able to just start with an idea and just, you know, run with it and see where it went. But because I haven't got that long to write this book, I can't do that. So the main plots, the main plot points of my characters and the main plot of the story is pretty much laid out this time. But I do like to leave a little bit of room for my incidental characters to come in. If you've read my books, you'll know that there are a lot of incidental characters, and it's partly just to keep it interesting for me, because those can just appear and they sort of help the story along. And it's so that, you know, when it gets made into a film, Robert De Niro can play a little part. We get Kate Winslet coming in, maybe Colin Firth, if he's not busy winning Oscars, come in and do that as well. So that's the idea, but it's really just to keep the story fresh. So that's where my spontaneity sort of comes out. Kath wanted to know if other people read the first draft while I'm writing it. In the past it's varied. With the first book, no one did. With the last book, a couple of people did. This time my friend Kim is actually right now reading as far as I've got with the first draft. Kim Curran-Goodson, you'll recognise her if you've read the acknowledgements in the front of my books. You'll recognise her from there, and she'll find this really amusing when she sees that I've mentioned it, because she tells everybody that she's in my books. She's a fantastic writer in her own right, but she's also really, really honest, and I know that she'll tell me if it's good. I know that she'll point out things that I could work on, so it's really good. Some writers talk about that with their agents before it goes to a publisher. But I don't have an agent at the moment, and while I can talk about it a lot with my editor, and I do, it's really important for me to get a reader's perspective. So that's where Kim reading it for me comes in handy, and also she gets very excited about the fact that she gets to read it before anyone else. I think those are all the questions. The only thing that I said I'd try and get a close-up of the ring. This is my engagement ring. So this is for Vanessa and Julia on Facebook. They wanted to see this. Can you get this? I need to say Bob's actually filming. Hello, Bob.
Hello.
Hello, he's there. So there we go. There's my beautiful ring, and I will be getting married next year. No ideas of date yet. I'll let you know if there is. Finally, the hat. This is a John Rosher hat that I got in the sale at Debenhams a couple of years ago when I did my Christmas shopping in Stratford-on-Avon, which is a bit of a tradition for me. The hats, I think, are a bit of a hit. So if you have any suggestions of the next hat you'd like me to see me wearing, it could be a wig, it could be a fez, could be a top hat, anything, let me know. Put a comment in the comments box at the bottom of the screen and let me know what you think. And next time, hopefully, I will show you a completed first draft. Please let me finish it. And then what I'm going to do is actually read out some of my favourite bits so far, so you can see it. So I hope that's going to be okay. I hope that's answered your questions. Leave me a comment, let me know what else you'd like to know, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.